Now let's take a look at the project capability of ServiceStar. On the front page, or the main menu of it, you can see on the calendar that we have shown here different milestones that have occurred from the project side of the business. These are milestones that lead you to invoicing action, that the milestone is now complete and you need to bill or invoice the customers for these particular items. If you want to look at a particular project, all you have to do is go up and click on the project section up here, and the project are then displayed in the form shown. You can select a particular project by going to the filter and be able to either type the company name information or the dates that you want to take and view all the projects between. And then once you click OK, then you just click on the list view, and it will then list all the customers and projects that fulfill that example. For example, if I wanted to look for a customer project and the name Smith, I would just type Smith in there and then click on the view, and then all the projects that have the name Smith would then show up. I just click on the project and the project form itself will open up. On the project form, what you have is the information you're going to enter about the project, who's responsible for any authorizations, and etc. You have tabs in the center section of it that you can write a description of what the project's all about. A second tab is there to show you who the customer is and any of the customer information specifics about it, where the billing will go and that type of information. Lastly, who are the key contacts for this particular project. Here you can enter in their name, phone number, and email address if you would like to email them. At the bottom of the form, there's information that shows you about the various cost factors. It continually adds up the labor hours applied to it, the labor costs associated with it, material costs for small parts and items, equipment costs for the larger items, and what your project costs run in total, and what your then there calculates what your project margins are, so you have a good idea to see how your project is proceeding at this point in time. At the top section of the form are a various series of options in which you can enter in data about the jobs, about the project. For example, jobs, you can click on jobs, and in here you can see all the various jobs on the project. And you also can see a status of the various jobs basically that are taking place in there from that. You can either add a new job if you wish by clicking on the new job tab. You click on it and it will then fill out some of the information, and all you have to do is put in the rest of the information from it. Once you go from jobs, you can also take a look and set up milestones for billing customers. In here you define the milestones, what they are, and then the system will then keep that posted and will alert you when you need to do a milestone performance, as I showed you earlier on the opening page for it. Equipment is where you list all the major equipment items that are assigned to it and what the statuses of it are. For example, you can take a look at the major equipment that's there, and in here you can put descriptions and notes where it's available, who to pick it up from, and that type of information. Labor is as you complete each of the work orders for the project, you then take the labor that is returned back to you, and you can then enter it into this particular area. Basically, you would enter in the type of job that it was, for example, rough-in, and basically the number of hours and what your labor rate is and what your cost is associated with it, and any descriptions that you want to add into it. This will then be accumulated and added into your job costs. Materials are the same, basically the same format, is that you can enter in the type of material item you're using, and this links very closely with job tickets, and job tickets will be discussed in a separate section of this demo here for you. But basically you take the information off the job tickets and you enter it directly into here, and it will then do the rest for you of all your calculations for you. Lastly, our customer invoices. And the invoicing is very similar to the invoicing that's set up on the service side of it. Again, you can put notes in there that you wish to go into it, and any invoice details You can add items in here from the invoice by coming up and using a screen format that allows you to quickly enter pre-selected items in your price book. And then basically you also can, as on the other invoice, add payments to it. And it always will show you your running balances of what you're doing with the customers. So basically, this completes a quick overview of the job activity. The last thing is, if you want to schedule a job that's associated with a project, all you have to do is bring your batch screen up like you normally would and click on the unscheduled jobs at the bottom of it, and all jobs that are requiring scheduling will show up here. In here you can see that this is a project type job because of the call type is install equipment. So to do this, all you have to do is come up here, and you can either look at all your technicians and do it, or you could take and go in and say, I want to see only my install and startup crew, and that would be these two servicemen here. And you can then just to service it, all you have to do is drag and drop it up to the opening box, and it will automatically fill in the amount of time required for that particular job, and that basically completes the scheduling of it. This completes the activity or the discussion on projects at this point in time. The next area we want to talk about will be job tickets and how it relates to projects.